Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus House system. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the lunar nodes ingressing into the signs of Pisces and Virgo. So the north node will ingress in Pisces and the south node will ingress in Virgo from January 11th of 2025 through July 26th of 2026. So for the next 18 months, that's where the lunar nodes will stay. Now, I thought I would start this video by explaining what the nodes are, because the lunar nodes are not planets. They are 2 points in your natal chart, and it's where the sun's orbit and the moon's orbit cross, where they meet. And so those are the lunar nodes. They are calculations. They are not planets. And where they meet, the lunar nodes are the ones that cause the eclipses. Now, the north node, or Rahu in Vedic astrology, shows your soul's journey, where your soul needs to grow, and where there are fated events that happen. And so you are supposed to be headed in the area of your north node in this incarnation. The south node, or Ketu, in Vedic astrology, shows your past habits, your past patterns, your traits, what you were good at in other lives, and stuff that you kind of need to leave behind or somehow integrate your south node into your north node. So, the nodes are what cause the eclipses. According to ancient Babylonian astrology, eclipses bring karmic lessons, fated events, omens, and usually they're not good events. Okay. Eclipses bring endings, throwing certain things or events completely in like a different direction, something that you didn't see coming. The north node brings us a little bit or a lot of uncertainty because in that area of your chart, you haven't been there before, so you're not familiar. So it's a bit, unsettling, always something new that we have no experiences, causes a little bit of anxiety maybe. So in the north node, where the north node in your chart, in your natal chart is, and it looks like this, right? I just wanted to show you guys. This is the north node, which looks like a shoe horse, and this is the south node, and they're going to be in Pisces and Virgo. Now, when you bring up a chart on astro.com, it only shows you the north node. It does not bring up the south, but they are directly opposing each other. All right. So the north node, we need to be a pioneer wherever this house falls in your chart. This is where you need to be a pioneer. This is where, there should be excitement, new beginnings, growth for the next 18 months. Now, the south node, which is now in Virgo, is the spiritual, the intuitive, the non-physical, the instinctive part, right? It's connected, like I said before, to our past life and to our karma in this lifetime. Now, karma can be good or bad, it's not always bad. So the south node is an area also of loss, past talents and gifts, stuff that you're already, it's like, when somebody knows how to play a piano and has never taken a lesson before, so you bring that talent from another lifetime into this lifetime. You're comfortable with that area in your life. Now, the way that this works is that you need to use those talents from past life and apply them to the North Node in this life. Since the North Node is moving into Pisces, we need to discuss what Pisces rules. Pisces rules isolated places like hospitals, monasteries, island countries as well. Um, Pisces rules mystical, spiritual, creative stuff, right? Compassion. It rules prisons, drugs, both legal and illegal. It rules homelessness, orphanages, mental illness, meditation, intuition, yoga, empathy. Our oceans are ruled by Pisces. Petroleum, poisons also. Pisces rules poisons. Immigrants, immigration, pharmaceuticals, photography, medicine. All these things are encompassing of the Pisces energy. Now, Virgo rules being very practical, being logical, organized, detailed oriented. It rules your daily routines, your diet, your work, your healthy lifestyles. It rules perfectionism. Um, Also, Virgo rules being controlling, being a micromanager, being super critical of other people and of themselves. So we need to leave behind those negative traits of Virgo and just take the positive ones and apply them to the North Node in Pisces. With the North Node in Pisces, there can be a lot of illusion, confusion, deception, lies, um, wearing pink glasses, like you see everything really rosy colored, right? We may be seeing more people wanting to escape reality using alcohol, drugs. Maybe there's a push to legalize marijuana. Maybe we can see improvements in our prisons, in our hospital, focusing on addicts specifically, helping the homeless. Because, US vets, poor people, they encompass, especially vets, they make up a large portion of the homeless people because of the mental illness that they bring because they've gone to war. We can also see a focus on yoga as part of the health routine, meditation as well. Now, yoga is important because it improves mental and physical health. We can also see maybe a push to clean up our oceans. Hurricanes can come with even greater force with more water, because remember, Neptune is conjunct the fixed star sheet. So there's an increase, that increases danger in the water, increases floods, rainstorms. And of course, we're already seeing issues with immigrants and immigration and deportations. That's also the North Node in Pisces. So with this Pisces Virgo axis, because it's the natural ruler, Pisces is the natural ruler of the 12th house, and Virgo is the natural ruler of the 6th house. The main topic will be health, all right? Mental as well as physical. 12th house rules chronic diseases, and 6th house rules the healthy routine, like your daily routine and both what you eat and what you exercise. So hopefully we can, there can be new medical advances in hospitals and medicines. New medications can come out, but be mindful, because remember that the North Node in Pisces brings a lot of illusion, a lot of wearing the pink glasses, so they can promise that these medications will do wonders, but make sure that you need to back it up with results, because Neptune also rules poisons. So some of these new methods can fail to deliver the expectations, right? That, all the promises that they made, not because they're lying. I'm not saying that, because maybe they just were so optimistic that these things were going to work, and the methods failed to deliver the expectation that were set. So, for example, like chronic diseases like diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia, Oh, and in addition to that, let's not forget our pets, because pets, sixth house rules pets. So their health, veterinary doctors can come up with uh, new practices as well. So we can see some advances with our pets as well, God willing, fingers crossed. Basically, Pisces can the way we integrate both things, right, is Pisces can dream of improving the health system, but Virgo's gonna say, make it practical, make it logical, make it realistic, right? So let's put the feet on the ground. I mean, we can wish for the stars, but the feet are firmly put on the ground. Now, on a personal basis, for those of you that are old enough, remember back to 2006, 2007, because that's where the North Node was in Pisces and the North and the South Node was in Virgo. So go back in time and see what were the themes that came up in your life, right? And that pretty much is going to repeat itself. Not exactly, but around that same area, the eclipses are going to be there. So those are the themes that you are going to experience with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. So let's take a look at the 12 rising signs. Now, for Aries, let me see how this, for Aries, we are here. So for Aries, it rules the North Node will be in your 12th house, and the South Node will be in Virgo in the 6th house. For you, Aries, thankfully, the North Node is moving out of your sign, and the South Node is moving out of your descendant sign. So Aries, Libra too, right? The nodes were there. North Node was in Aries, South Node was in Libra. Um, for a lot of Aries, the nodes brought a lot of karmic changes, a lot of one-to-one relationships, which could have been a dream, right? You met your Prince Charming or Princess Charming, or you met somebody that was a karmic relationship and it was a nightmare. This person gave you the lesson of a lifetime. Your life also could have gone through dramatic, fated changes. So now you get to rest because the nodes are moving to your 12th house and your 6th house. So this means that the North Node in the 12th house, remember that house is a spiritual house. It's a house to rest. It's a it's a house to like regain some energy. Try to start a meditation program, or practice, I should say, not a program, a yoga practice. If you have issues, from your subconscious, some fears and stuff like that, it's a great time to, get a good mental health therapist or a mental health practice. Also, physical exercise is good. This, like I said, the 12th and 6th house axis deals with health. So for 12th house, chronic conditions, addictions, like I said, go to see a therapist for any fears or past traumas that you've had since childhood or middle school or high school. Pay attention to your intuition because later on, Neptune will go into Pisces. I think it's like May of this year. Um, and it's going to bring a lot of signs, a lot of communication from the other side. So also with the North Node in Pisces, you can get creative, use your imagination, dream a little bit. You take a respite, of just go, 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 go and get everything accomplished, right? Just sit back and chill for a little bit. It's okay. South Node in Virgo, what you need to leave behind. Daily routines that are not doing you any good. Drinking, drugs, eating sugar, habits that need to go away. Leave behind the workaholic, the perfectionism, being super critical, especially at work. Review your work routine so you aren't so stressed at work, because if you don't, it will have an impact on your health. It will create a crisis in your sixth house. Also, sixth house is pets, so make sure that their health is okay. Take them to the vet for the daily, for the yearly checkup. Maybe there's a new pet that comes into your life, but this can also mean that you can lose a pet as well if the eclipses that are going to happen in the Virgo axis are close to any planets that you have there. So, and remember, these are fated events. So it's not, there's nothing you can do when an event is fated. It's because it's meant to happen. So keep that in mind. For Taurus rising, you are here, and the eclipses are going to happen in your 11th and in your fifth house, which this is one of the better houses to have eclipses in my opinion. And the reason is that the 11th house is friends, social connections, socializing in general, political groups, or just professional organizations. All of these get transformed. New friends can come in, new memberships into different types of groups. Remember that the people that come into this area are fated. So pay attention who comes into your atmosphere, right? To your little circle, and what are they there to teach you? Okay. Also, there can be friends that leave as well. Um, or there are changes in a friend's life. Maybe they get married, maybe they have a baby. Perhaps you can start a charity, right, Pisces, uh, on a cause that have strong feelings about. And maybe these new friends are becoming part of your circle, right? When Neptune and Saturn enter this area of your chart, remember to put boundaries, because Saturn is all about boundaries on these friendships. Because, people say, oh, relationships are 50-50. They never are. I haven't had one yet that's a 50-50. It's always one part that pulls in more weight um at any given time. But if it's always the same person giving time, effort, money, if you're the one that's doing that to your friend and that friend doesn't pay you back once in a blue moon, right? Not that you do things to get payback. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if you're always the one that's putting in the effort, the time, running around, going crazy trying to help the person, and that person doesn't even offer you a chicken soup when you have a cold, then you know what? That's not a real friendship. So that needs to go. You need to cut those people out. Because it should be more of a give and take type of situation. Now, the South Node is in Virgo, so that is your fifth house. So there can be major romantic developments. And, old boyfriends or old girlfriends may need to leave. If you're still in contact with them, it's time to cut it off. If someone from your past comes back, then, it's up to you to, return with that person. Think about it really well, why you broke up with them to begin with, or why they broke up with you. Or perhaps, and this is I think to me, the most interesting part is that perhaps you meet someone, a boyfriend, because fifth house is romance, your boyfriend girlfriend situation, and that person can turn out to be a karmic connection. Now, be careful with this one, because it could be a dream, a dream come true that this person is like super great, or it could be a huge lesson. So take your time, you know, tread carefully, and just, don't rush into anything. And how do you know if it's a karmic connection? Well, You feel like you've known the person for forever. You guys get along so well. You like the same things. You may even have telepathy with that person. And what I mean by that, you're thinking about them, boom, a text comes in. Or you call them and they say, oh, I was just thinking about you. That's that type of connection that I'm talking about. So I hope you get your Prince Charming or your Princess Charming. Now, there may also be changes in the life of your firstborn child because fifth house is the firstborn. They could be going to high school. They could get into a sports team that they wanted, or they can be going away to college. Remember that South Node is losses. Also, you may decide you want a baby, or you may decide you change your mind. Maybe you wanted to have a child, but you decide that, you know what, kids are not for you. Um, if you do want to have I mean, if you don't want to have a baby, be careful because the North Node, well, the South Node in the fifth house, there's no baby. But be mindful of what you want or not want. If there is a hobby that you no longer want to do because it's not giving you the money that you expected or you lost interest, then that is one area that you can let go. For Gemini rising, for Gemini, this happens, the shift in the North Node goes into your 10th house, the highest part of your chart. And the South Node goes into the 4th house in Virgo. So the North Node is going to bring fated changes in your career, in your status in society. There is a new path in your career and family life because the South Node is in Virgo. You may get a new job, you may get a promotion, you may get married, you may have a baby. These are all 10th house because it deals with how society views you. Remember, the 10th house is the highest part of the chart. So if you're single, you can get married. If you're married, um, you can have a baby, or well, nowadays you don't need to be married to have a baby. You can become a parent. So your boss may quit, they can retire, they can also die, hopefully not. But something causes your boss to be removed, from their position if it's a full moon eclipse. A full moon brings endings. If when there is a new moon solar eclipse, this is when the opportunities come up for you in your 10th house. Now, South Node in the 4th house, um, you need to forget about the criticism you get from your family. Your parents wanted you to do something, or your parents wanted you to study something, maybe a specific career. You know, just put this behind you. This also speaks about 4th house is also your physical structure of the property. So you may have to move, but you may have to move because you bought a home or you bought an apartment. Or because you're getting a promotion or because there's a career change, maybe you do need to move. Now, a parent or a parent figure, if their health is not well, they may also pass away. Hopefully not. But I do want to mention this, so make sure that you go visit your mom, your dad, the family, so that way there are no regrets later on. Cancer rising. North Node is in the 9th house. So we are here, Cancer rising. The North Node is in Pisces. The South Node is in Virgo. So this is the 9th and 3rd house. And this is another favorable area of the chart to have the eclipses fall because it's not the angles, right? So, 9th house focuses on long distance travel, higher education, legal matters, religion, your worldview, right? What your beliefs are. So, remember that Saturn is in Pisces, so maybe the way you're viewing the world is not is a little bit pessimistic because of everything that's going on. I don't blame you, but because things are not doing really well now. But try to take this information and turn it around and see maybe what you can learn from it. Have a realistic approach as to what has happened or what is happening. Any long distance travel, any long distance trip that comes up, or any opportunity in higher education, this is a fated event. So you're meant to go on that trip. You're meant to attend that course at the university. Also, fated connections with people in foreign countries or foreigners or a teacher, a professor. That professor can become a mentor in your life. So pay attention who comes into your circle. Now, South Node in the third house. This deals with short trips, short courses, your community, your neighborhood, your extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, your siblings. Careful. Third house also talks about your thoughts, your mental thoughts. So be careful with critical thoughts about yourself or negative self-talk or self-criticism. There can be also a situation with one of your siblings or extended family members that maybe it hasn't gone the way you thought. It's still lingering, what have you, just put that behind you. And remember, no self-criticism, no, bad self-talk, no negative self-talk, nothing like that. Just keep it positive, try to stay, enthusiastic. For Leo rising, the North Node is in the eighth. So we have here Leo rising. Where are you? Leo rising. The North Node is in the eighth, and the South Node is in the second. So this is a financial house, and I should say a financial axis. So the focus is on money. Eighth house is your partner's resources. If you are not in a partnership or a marriage, then it becomes your investments, your debts, your loans. Getting a loan becomes easier. There can be inheritances, commissions, bonuses that can come in with the eclipses there. Insurance claims, lottery tickets. If you have a planet like Venus or Jupiter in the eighth house that comes within plus or minus 3 degrees of the eclipse, play a couple of, a lottery ticket and see if maybe you get lucky and win a little bit of money. I'm not saying that you're going to be a millionaire, but maybe, you get $500 or $1,000 or something like that. So the South Node is going to be in the second house. So this means second house is the money that you make from the job that you do. It also means what you value, what you eat as well. So South Node, it involves losses. So you may lose your job or you may quit your job. There can be changes in your budget, making it more practical, more realistic, letting go of a financial goal that was unrealistic. Your pattern of earning income may change. Also, the way you spend money needs to change. The second house is what you eat. So, being on a super restrictive diet, just let it go. Try to stay away from the excess sugars, the carbs, the fats and stuff like that, but make it a little bit more practical. And as far as budgeting, it's great to draw up a budget, but you need to follow the budget. You need to stick to the budget. Having it on paper or on an Excel spreadsheet is wonderful, but you need to apply it. You need to be realistic with the money. For Virgo, for Virgo, for Virgo, Virgo is here. So the South Node is in your sign. The North Node is in the seventh house. Seventh house, first house. So we're talking about one-to-one relationships, long-term relationships in love or business. Or even, those friendships that we have for 20 something years. Okay. So what does this mean, Virgo? For you, you can meet someone who is a fated long-term relationship. Now, again, it could be a life lesson or it can be Prince Charming or Princess Charming, right? So this is what you need to find out. If it is a fated relationship, this person that you meet will feel so familiar. It's like you know them from another lifetime, right? You get along great. You even have like a telepathic connection as well. Just um be careful because, faded doesn't mean forever. Faded doesn't mean that it's going to turn out well. Hopefully it does. I'm hoping that, you're the lucky person that gets to meet, like I said, a lifelong partner and you get married and you have that picket white fence with whatever, that 2.3 kids or whatever the average is now. But just keep it in mind. Don't lose your head, right? Just take it slow. South Node. South Node is in your sign. So you need to change. You need to let go of that 24/7, 365 days a year, work, 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 work. Life is not all just about work. You need to let go of that perfectionism that you have. Perfect. What's perfect for me is not perfect for you. So it's an ideal, right? It's really not a realistic concept. You need to embrace being more enthusiastic and less critical. No negative self-talk, no self-criticism. Um, with this line, first and seventh, if you are with someone, if you are married or you are in a partnership and things are not going well, and there are eclipses in this, this axis, which they will be, this could also bring a divorce or a separation. And if it does happen, it will be final. There is no going back because eclipses just terminate things, they end things. For Libra, Libra, the North Node is in your sixth house, and the South Node is in your 12th house. So for you, Libra, it's all about your daily routine, your health, your work. All of the focus is on these subjects. Review your eating habits, cut down on sugar, on sodas, adopt a healthy eating exercise program. You can become a workaholic for the next 18 months, or your coworkers, colleagues, there could be changes, new people coming into the workplace. You can also, there could be a lot of changes in your habits and also your pets because it's sixth house. A pet, you can be getting a new pet or you could be losing one as well. Now, with the South Node in the 12th house, here we go. Leave the pessimistic thoughts, leave the fear behind. This is a great time to, again, go into therapy to get through this process. No negative self-talk that you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough or handsome enough, etc. All right. So these are things that you need to leave behind. Nobody is perfect. No one. All right. So for Scorpio rising, right here, the eclipses are happening in your fifth and in your 11th house, which is, again, the one of the easiest houses to have eclipses, along with the third and the ninth. These are nice places. So fifth house deals with romance, with passion, with kids, wanting to have a baby, a new hobby. having fun, going on vacation. There can be an opportunity to meet someone, fifth house, boyfriend, girlfriend, and it would be a fated relationship. So again, fated doesn't mean forever. And there could be, Prince Charming, Princess Charming, or there could be a huge lesson with this person. So hopefully for you, it turns out really nice. Um, and you meet the one, right? I'm hoping that that's the case. Also, if you already have children, there could be changes with your firstborn. There could be changes that are fated with your kids. Careful with an unexpected pregnancy, because if you don't want to get pregnant, be very, very careful, because this can happen in a blink of an eye with those eclipses. The 11th house, the South Node is in the 11th house. So your friendships are going to go through a transformation. Your social groups or professional organizations that you belong to, some people get eclipsed out of your life. Some just leave, right? They move away or they get married and they, get their own life and stuff like that. Um, Also, people that you haven't spoken to in years, right? And they call you up and they need a favor out of the blue. You got to cut those people out. They're really not your friends. They're just using you because of whatever you could do for them. So analyze who is your friend and who is not your friend and make, the appropriate choices to invest time in quality people or organizations, right? If not, just let for Sagittarius rising, for Sagittarius, the eclipses, let me see where's Sag here. Sag is here. So for you, it happens in your fourth house is the North Node, and the South Node is in the 10th house. So these are very important points because they are the angles of your chart. So the fourth house, the North Node in the fourth house, there can be changes in the family and in the actual structure that you live in, whether it's an apartment or a home, right? So you can move, you can buy, you can renovate your home over the next 18 months. Family members that can come and go, right? But family members that bring you down because Saturn is already there, you need to put boundaries. Saturn is putting boundaries on those people, even if they're your parents. Um, there should be some level of respect, right? You always listen to the advice that your parents give you, but the decision is yours, okay? And if they're coming down with negative criticism and stuff like that, put it aside. Let it go. South Node is in your 10th house. So this speaks about career changes, job changes. You can be let go. You can be laid off. You can quit your job. Maybe this happens so that you can focus on your family or just an isolated event. A supervisor can leave or can retire. Careful with clashes with authority figures because your supervisors, your parents, etc. Especially if you have your sun in the 10th house and the eclipses are going to happen plus or minus within 3 degrees, then most likely you will lose your job, you can get laid off, or you will quit. So plan your finances accordingly. Think back to whatever happened in 2006, 2007, because these themes will reoccur. Now for Capricorn. Capricorn, let me see, you are here. Capricorn is here. So the North Node is in your third house and the South Node is in your ninth house. So again, these are one of the easiest places to house eclipses, thank God. Um, so North Node in the third house, short trips, new ideas. Maybe you are on a quest to learn something new. A language maybe is something, not university studies, but it's a course that's interesting to you. So, also communication with extended family members, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings. You can buy a new car, a new computer, a new phone. If the North Node is aspecting Mercury or Mars in your natal chart in the third house, then be careful with any accidents, or if they're in bad aspects, I mean, or you could have car repairs that come, or your computer crashes. So again, back up your data. Let's just hope that it's you reestablish communication with an extended family member or a sibling, right? South Node in the ninth house. This deals with university studies, religion, your philosophy in life, your beliefs, legal matters, as well as long distance trips. Usually, maybe what usually happens is that people graduate from the university, or they're concluding a long distance trip when the eclipses happen, right? Or there is a possibility that you could drop out of school, hopefully not. Maybe you could just change majors and still continue to go to the university. Or maybe there's a legal case that comes to a for Aquarius rising. For Aquarius rising, the North Node is in your second house, and the South Node is in your eighth house. So this is money access. This is there can be changes, second house, there can be changes in the way that you make money and also the way you spend it. You may want to buy something expensive, like a house, like an apartment, a car, an asset, a luxury item, something that you value. So you will be focusing on your financial security or insecurity. With a second house, with eclipses there could be opportunities to make additional money. So be mindful, make a budget, stick to the budget. Just because it's on paper or it's on an Excel spreadsheet, that means that you have to follow it. It's not just putting it on paper, right? So be mindful of that. Now um, the South Node is in your eighth house. So this involves joint finances. If you do not have a partner, you're not married, then this involves your investments, um, your debts as well. There can also be death in your environment. You need to review your partner's finances. And like I said, your investments, your retirement accounts. There may be, like I said, a death in your environment, not yours, but someone that you know. If you've been dating somebody, because eighth house is sex, right? If you've been dating somebody and now maybe you want to take it to the next level, if the relationship is going well, then this is what's going to happen. If the relationship is not going well, then you will decide to end it. For Pisces rising, for Pisces, oh, Pisces, North Node is in your sign and the South Node is in the seventh house. So your life, Pisces, is going to take a dramatic change because they're happening in your first house. So it's your lifestyle. You, God willing, will have new energy, new optimism, enthusiasm. You will concentrate on your image, your diet, your exercise, your personal appearance, your hairstyle, makeup, wardrobe. There can be a fated meeting, a karmic meeting, because it's the first and the seventh house axis in love or business. So remember, you know, karmic relationships can be a blessing, but they could also be a nightmare. So keep, be mindful, keep it at a slow pace. And this time, the eclipses happen in your first house, so the focus is on you. Pisces always helps everybody out. They put themselves last. They're always like they sacrifice themselves for everybody else. No, now it's your turn. It's your turn to get your life back together and to just move forward with a new you. Now, the South Node is in the seventh house. So if you are in a long-term relationship in love or business, like you're married or you are in a partnership with somebody, if the relationship is not going well, then you'll get divorced, you will break up, or the business partnership ends. So leave behind being so critical about yourself, right? Leave behind relationships that don't benefit you. Leave behind all the negative self-talk, all the like when you make a decision and you go over it again and again and again, like, did I make the right decision? Did I say the right thing? Maybe the person got offended. What? No, no, no. What's done is done. All right, so with this, I conclude the video. Thank you for watching. If you want a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email. Please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and send the video to somebody that it might benefit for the next 18 months. This is the energy that we are going to be facing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.